We saw those funky shoes you were wearing. We said, this can't go on.
Shoes are pretty good looking.
No, they were nice looking shoes.
They were purple.
We're there. Ladies and gentlemen, our podcast has just started here at McCurdy's Comedy Theater. And for those of you who are tuning in on that aren't here, to my far left is Darryl Lenox, our headline comedian this week. Fantastic. And normally this is an interview with just the headliner, but tonight was a fundraiser for Lindsey Bergeon, who is, and it is Bergeon or something like that. I gotta say it there, no, Bergeon, but who is a professional golfer on the Futures Tour, and you might be wondering why the hell are we doing a fundraiser for a professional golfer, and we'll find out more about that later. But first of all, Darryl, I first kind of met Darryl. You'd been in the business a long time at the Boston Comedy Festival. I think was the first time we really, and where you were a finalist there. You've been in several comedy competitions around the country, San Francisco, Seattle, the Comedy Central, where you've won or placed as a runner-up. You've appeared on Comedy Central and a lot of national television shows. Been in the business for a long time, and you grew up in Las Vegas, correct?
All right, Las Vegas.
And so, growing up in Las Vegas, did you always want to be an entertainer because of that atmosphere, or was that even in your mind as a kid?
Not at all. I wanted to be. I wanted to be an athlete. You know, I thought I was a pretty good athlete, so I wanted to play sports. And then I went to see my father in Seattle, and then I started doing stand-up. Played a little college basketball, and then I played against some real NBA players and realized I should let go of that dream really fast. So I started the jokes right after that.
And well, that's interesting. Your transition to stand-up comedy from wanting to be a professional basketball player, how quickly did one dream dash and the next one come to fruition?
The very first time I did a set at the Comedy Underground in Seattle, and I did really well. Partly was because I was very mad. I was dating a lady. It was my first ever girlfriend. I was 20 and she was 37, and so
Cougar.
Yeah.
That's what they call it now,
yeah.
Which we have a town full of them. Of a television show filmed here, Cougar Town.
I couldn't get her to be my fundraiser sponsor. So she told me I was never going to make it, and I didn't have any dreams. So I said, I'll show you. I'm not going to play basketball. I'm going to take an even harder job and become a stand-up comedian, which pays far less money. And I went and did a set. And then right after I was done, the club manager, the Comedy Underground, goes, I think you got a future, and you could audition for the Seattle Comedy Competition. And she was standing there right there, and then this really good-looking girl came up to me. She goes, can I give you my phone number? I want to take you out for coffee sometime. So I took the phone number right in front of the girl, and I was like, yes. And so I waved it in front of the ex-girlfriend like that. And then she broke the hold on me, and that was it. So it was been stand-up ever since then.
And what year was that?
That was October 1989.
1989.
Yep.
And then your first, how long before then until you were a headliner?
Officially or in my mind? Because I thought.
And that's interesting.
That's right.
I love that because, and we're going to correlate back to Lindsey in a minute. I've always said that one of the greatest attributes any beginning comedian can have is a fantastic sense of false confidence and esteem.
Delusion, yeah.
Yes, we really feel that we're much, much better than we are all along the way, because otherwise we would quit if we knew what we really look like up here.
They're wrong. I had the best booger jokes ever. And everybody was wrong except for me. You cannot tell me that was not the best booger stuff ever. And so, well.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And And Lindsey, now Lindsey has, you started playing golf when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, I was 11.
11 years old. And you go back to the question of why would we be doing a fundraiser? Well, let's kind of give a little bit. Everybody in the room here and the people listening had this little card on the table that tells what your accomplishments are. But unfortunately, you wrote it in a font that no human being in Sarasota, Florida can read unless they have at least a 2.5 reading glass, which I do right here, that I got at the dollar store just before the show. So I'm see, everybody in the room has this on their table, but they have no idea what the back of it says whatsoever. But you graduated from Florida Southern College in sports management. You are 3-time AAU Junior Olympics gold medal winner, 4-time NGCA National Golf Collegiate Association. Is that what it is?
Yeah, you know the different first team All-American.
Division II All-American.
Yeah.
And you had the driving accuracy award. You were on the NC or NCGA or whatever national championship team.
Great job at this.
I know. And you hold the course record here at the Bradenton Country Club, right? But that's just a few of the things you've done. So why in the world, when we get started as comedians, at least we get paid something, right, Darryl?
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Something. And so you're going out here on the Futures Tour this year, and it's how many years have you been on the tour?
Starting my 4th year on tour.
Your 4th year on the tour. And so if you come in 10th in a tournament, what's your prize money?
$1,200 around.
$1,200.
$1,300, yeah.
That's if you come in 10th, right? Now, and you have entry fees in the whole 9 yards.
Our entry fees are $500 an event.
$500.
I pay $9,000 a year in entry fees.
Pay
off the bat.
So you paid $500 to get into the event, and you have to come in at least 10th to get half your money back. You know, I've been trying to book comedy clubs that way for a long time, Darryl. Why wouldn't you pay me $500 for the privilege of being here, and then if we do well that week and you do well, I give you half your money back.
I kind of do, Les. I kind of do.
You
pay
kind of do
I
do
kind
that?
of do pay you to work here, Les.
So you have entrance, and that's what people don't realize when you're out there. And I know a lot of people ask you about your caddy. I've heard several people ask you about your caddy. Who's your caddy?
I am.
That's exactly right.
You got to carry the bag yourself?
No, we actually have carts out there. We don't get to ride in them, but we have our live scoring that drives the carts, and we throw the clubs on them. But yeah, it's too expensive. I mean, to keep myself out there is about $30,000 a year after travel and everything. So and
So
that's off the bat. I mean, that is literally that's the bare minimum. That's me driving to a lot of events and living in host housing, which is housing that people host us for the week for free. So I mean that's living it's about $50,000 if you want to do the whole hotels, car rentals, flying everywhere, but about you can nickel and dime it to $30,000.
$30,000 a year.
I could caddy for you. You should let me caddy for you once. We'll pretend like you're doing a Make-A-Wish thing.
Yeah, but you're blind.
I know, that would be the funny part. I'm trying to get you some money, so if you have
How's that
a
work with
big
that putt?
dude with no depth perception carry a bag for you, and I'm running into the cart and messing everybody up, you would look like a hero. You would look like Sally Struthers with the little African babies.
That's cute.
I would be able to help you. I can make you some money.
That's nice. I'm probably just gonna pass on
All
that. But I really appreciate the offer. You should come watch an event.
No, that's not even good either.
That's true too.
You can come listen to the game.
Yeah.
Golf is so fun to listen to, isn't it? It's a listening sport. Now, and I'm so rude to the people who are tuned in on the internet. We haven't even spoke of the fact that you're not totally blind.
Not totally, no.
Totally, you're blind in one eye,
right,
which is the left eye,
yeah.
correct? And so if I stand, and you're much bigger than me, but from your left side, I might could take you.
For a little while.
For a little
For a little
while,
while.
until you kind of got turned around a
Right.
little bit. Then I'd be in trouble. And then your right eye, how much? What's the percentage of sight?
About 75% from about my to the bottom of my eyelid and up. So I have no vision underneath my eyelid, lower eyelid.
And I'm way shorter than you. I've got an advantage to the left,
And underneath.
down low.
Yeah.
Like that Canadian guy that hit you,
That's
probably,
right.
I guess. When you first started, your first headline, and this is what I know about you, your first headline act, the first one you developed, was very different from this. Now, when you got to that point, was that before the accident? Before when you had full sight?
It changed a few times. I think this is my third or fourth attempt at having an act. But when I first started in Seattle, I was lucky enough to work with some great comics. And one of them is here tonight. He's in Portland. I don't know if Troy's still here. Troy Thurgill, Carl Banks, and myself. We were these little young dudes. And it was the thing to be very laughs per minute. And we were so, it was Northwest, so you always had to go do the jokes in Idaho and Wyoming. So you got very comfortable with the fish out of water stuff. And then I started going to LA, and then you can't tell, black audiences your first time water skiing joke because they'll boo you. So you had to adjust. And then my act changed when I moved to Canada. That's when I learned how to start talking about, my environment and how I'm feeling about stuff. So.
Is there a big difference between Canadian audiences and audiences here in the United States?
Yeah, in Canada, they'll tell you if you can't spell.
Highly critical, these Canadians,
Yeah.
aren't they?
You know what? They make you because they have a few different comic sensibilities. They have the English influence, they have their own influence, and they have our American influence. And so you can't trick them with the rah-rah stuff. Like, especially in the 90s. In the 90s, it was so popular to be a black comic because HBO Def Jam was on and Arsenio and The Living Color. And so you didn't have to be good. You could just had to smile a lot and say motherfucker a few times, and they would give you a sitcom and some extra money. And
Yeah,
so
exactly.
when you got to Canada, they don't fall for that. So I had to learn how to talk about some real stuff, and that changed me a lot. So
Very nice.
they're different.
And now, Lindsey, do you have other revenue streams? In other words, as a professional golfer, there, are you allowed to go and do, I don't know, events where you can get paid? Say a pro-am or something like that?
Yeah, a lot of the pro-ams, and you usually get $100 or $200 to play a pro-am, but a lot of they don't really want the women as much as they want the professional